Hey guys, what's up, Cardfight here, and today I'm here with another deck profile. This time around we'll be doing a Revelation Armada deck profile. So without further ado, let's get right into the deck profile. So for the starting Vanguard, we're still using the old one that I use in my Fenrir deck. I mainly because I like this card a bit more than I do the new starting Vanguard that we got. This card's skill is put this card into soul. Choose one of Vanguards and it gets a new skill, and the new skill is once per turn, when a card that's not this card gets soul blasted to the drop zone, then you can call that card to a Vanguard circle. So basically, if you pay the cost for soul blasting, and there's this unit you want to call out, then you can use that to call out. I think he's a much more useful card at setting up the board, so just gonna run this card instead. Yeah, just keep in mind he doesn't have Revelation, so you can't use him to pay for the stride cost for Armada. Next, we are running 4 Armada, so obviously this is the new stride break for Genesis. Instead of getting a new Fenrir, we got her instead, which I don't mind because, I like her design a bit more than Fenrir. So her skill is Revelation, Vanguard or Rearguard Circle. And then you can pay for the stride cost by soul blasting 3 Revelation cards. So instead of discarding a grade 3, you can just soul blast 3 Revelation units. And the second skill is counterblast 1. When a G unit tries to handle this card, you can soul charge 2. And if a Revelation card was soul charged, you can draw a card and then choose 2 cards, and they get plus 4,000 power. 2 units, they get plus 4,000 power. So she's a pretty decent card because you get the draw and you get the soul charge, but you do have to counterblast. So if you're deciding whether to play Fenrir or play Armada, then sometimes you might have to take into account the cost. But I do run 2 of the old Fenrirs in this deck, mainly because he's still a stride break card, and he's a pretty good backup, I guess. And he is searchable with this stride fodder, so running this instead. So, I don't really need to explain this card because I've made a couple of Fenrir deck profiles before. Sure, you should know what he does by now. Alright, so now we're running 2 Angelic Wiseman, just because he does combo with Taro. I don't use the loop because I think loops are just bad for the game. So I'm just running this, just in case you do need that extra attack. Yeah. So the skill is Soul Blast 3 when this card attacks. If it's Genesis Vanguard, you may pay the cost. If you do during the battle, this card gets plus 4,000 power. So it's a 14k attacker. Comboed with a 7k booster, it's 21. So that's not bad. Next, we are running 4 of the new rare from the set. I think her name is what's her name again? Niniel. Yeah. So she has the Vanguard and Vanguard Circle for Revelation. So if you do ride her, you can still use Revelation, unlike some of the other grade 2s in this deck. So her skill is Generous 1, Countless 1. When a card is rested by a card effect, one of your card effects. If you have a Revelation Vanguard, you may pay the cost. If you do, during this turn, this card gets power equal to the rested card's power. So you can stack quite a bit of power. And since it is not once per turn, you can get it. You can stack her power. I'm not sure you want to do that though because it does cost counterblast. But yeah, maybe it would be good for a finishing attack. And she does combo kind of well with the new Ishtar, because you can use Ishtar to stand back up the unit rested with Revelation, and you get attack for a pretty high number. Next, we're running 4 Senri. Senri is a new common from the set, so she has the Revelation skill on the Rearguard Circle, and her skill is once per turn, Generous 1. When one of your rearguards is rested by one of your card effects, look at the top card of your deck and put it to the top or bottom, and then if you put to the bottom of the deck, this card gets plus 2,000 power. So this card combos with Revelation, so if you're planning to do Revelation after Revelation, if you have this on the field, you Revelation once, and then you Curse skill, and then you can put it at the top or bottom, seeing if you want to soul charge that card or not. And if not, then if you put it at the bottom, then she has plus 1,000 power. So it's nice. It's a free skill, so definitely not bad. I quite like it for a common. Next, running 4 of the Kotonaha, which is the common from GBD8, and she has the Revelation skill and Rear Circle again. So her skill is on your turn, if a card is put into a soul, this card gets plus 1,000 power, and if the card is the effect is from the Revelation, this card gets an extra 1,000 power. So if you're planning to do a Revelation heavy turn, then you can stack your power to quite a decent amount, especially on a Fenrir turn. You don't when you don't have rest your rear guards, you're gonna have pretty decent numbers to swing with. So definitely not bad. Right, next we're running for Joel. I think it is Noel or Joel. I don't know how to pronounce it. But it's a pretty standard card I ran in my previous Fenrir deck. So running 4 of this. It's mainly because you can activate his skill from the soul. So you can you know, do some stuff if you get soul charged. And he does have the Revelation ability. Most of our rear guards will have most of our deck will be Revelation. The main cards that aren't Revelation are just these grade 3s and the Stride Fodder. Everything else has Revelation, so you can pay for Armada Stride costs pretty easily. Next, we're running 4 of the new common from the GB11. So it's Wanahime. So Wanahime has a Revelation skill on the Rear Circle again. And it's Generation 1. When a card from your soul is placed to the drop zone, when this card is placed from the soul to the drop zone, I'm sorry, you can soul charge 1, and if a Revelation Vanguard, you can soul charge 1 more. So it's kind of like the witch grapes that help you soul charge whenever you get soul blasted. Similar to that, except this card has the Revelation ability, so it makes it a little bit more consistent for this deck. Next, rank 2 of the Fenrir Stride Fodder, mainly because you can stride for free with Armada, so I'd rather run more Revelation grade 1s so I can soul charge those into my soul. And when you soul charge these into your soul, they're still useful because their skills activate from the soul, and they do have a rear guard skill, which is just, you know, the basic Revelation. So it's more consistent for me this way, having good soulful Revelations. If you want to run 4 Stride Fodders instead, you can just take out 1 of each, and that's okay. But honestly, it doesn't really matter too much. I guess you really just need the grade 3 for the first stride. Sometimes you might be stuck with Fenrir, but when you do get the Armada, then you'll be fine. So that's just my opinion. And last, we're running 4 of the Revelation Perfect Guard. So skill is, she has the Revelation skill on the Guardian Circle, so that's kind of new. Basically, she just has the Perfect Guard skill, and then the second skill is when this card is placed on Guardian Circle, if you have one of this copy in your soul, then you can soul charge 2. So it's quite good at soul charging, as well as, you know, helping you out with Revelation and whatnot. You can run the Unflip Guard if you want, if you are worried about having not enough counter blast, but I think this card actually helps me a lot more. One being a Revelation and it helping you to soul charge too. This deck, I don't know. I guess it's not as soul charge heavy as the old Fenrir deck was. You do soul charge a lot, but a lot of times you might not want to soul charge every time in Revelation because you might hit a trigger and then you just want to put back to the top. So anyway, Next, for triggers, running 4 of the Fenrir crit, because we do run Fenrir, and you do run the Fenrir Stride. So, just in case, you might need this. Running 2 of this, where you slow charge this card, and you get 3k. It's just basically a Margle, but it's a crit, so sometimes you might not want to do that. Running 4 Taro, because Taro's a pretty decent card. It has Revelation on the rearguard circle, and it lets you restand your rearguards when you Soul Blast this card. So, not bad. It also recycles herself when she's with her generation break skill, so pretty good. And we're running 2 of this snake, mainly because just in case you feel like you're gonna deck out, you can use this card to basically recycle your deck. So yeah, you know, it's kind of like this card's just there for a safety precaution. And running 4 heals, just cause we are running the FCG guard. Oh, whoops. Alright, let's move on to the G zone. Give me a second to pick up the cards that just dropped. Alright, so for the G zone, we are running 4 Ishtar. Ishtar is the new triple rare from the set. Triple rare, Stride. We got this from the set, sorry. Brain fart again. So she does have the Revelation ability for the Stride. So I think this is like the first Stride we have that has the Revelation ability. So the skill is Soul Blast 3. Choose a face down card from your D zone and turn it face up. When your drive check reveals a grade 1 or greater card, you may pay the cost. If you choose the same number of cards as the number of face up Ishtars you have in G zone, and they get plus 2,000 power until the end of turn. And if the card revealed by the drive check has the Revelation ability, you can stand those rear guards. So what's special about this card is it's not restricted once per turn. So if you drive check 3 grade 1 graders, you can G flip 3 times. So this deck is very good at hitting GB8 because of this card, and it doesn't have to flip herself. So you can, you know, use her more than once per game, even if you do plan to flip a bunch. So if you like have this, flip 1, and then you drop another one, you just flip something else instead. And you can get to GB8 pretty fast like that, unless you hit triple triggers, which itself is not a bad thing. So, you know, not bad. Next, running 2 Vanguard. So it's a pretty old school card. So we're running 2, so you can play it once. I don't really use them all that often now because there's a lot of other options I'd rather stride into on my turn, like Fenrir. Running 2 Fenrirs. No need to explain him also because he is also in my previous builds, so I explained those there. Let's talk about these 2 cards first. We're running I think his name is Freyr. Running 1 Freyr, and it's for the soul charge in case you don't have enough. He's from Fighter's Collection, and you know, I know a lot of people don't like to run this card, but I'm just running it just taking 1 just in case. If you don't want to run him, you can run another. You can run another GB8 instead, but I'm running 1. Next, running 1 Doom Brace just to hit those numbers. Helps you hit those numbers, and it's just a tech. Since this deck hits very high numbers already, getting that extra pretty much trigger for each column does help you sometimes. So I'm running Doom Brace for that reason. And we're of course running the GB8. Again, if you don't want to run these, you can run an extra. One of her instead, which I might test out later on. But actually, only really need to use her once. If you use her once, your opponent's pretty boned most of the time. So skill is Jump Trick 8. You can Soul Blast as many cards as you want, and for every card you Soul Blasted, Your rear guards get plus 2,000 power for each card soul blasted, and if you soul blast more than 3 cards, then this card gets plus 10k and an extra crit. So obviously you can combo her with Taro, since she does activate her skill on attack. So you'll be attacking her with your rear guards, and if you soul blast a crap load, you can stand them all, and you can just give them a crap load of power too. Or you can stand them according to the amount of Taros you have. So you have 4, you can stand 4, which is still 4. Both your columns can restand pretty much. So pretty delicious, and you get an extra crit on her Vanguard attack too. So your opponent's gonna be pretty boned. For G guards, we're running 5. You can run less if you want. I'm just running 5 just in case. So we're running 2 of the old Fighters Collection one that helps you soul charge. Well, it lets you choose 3 cards from your drop zone and put them into your soul. So if you have Taros that you need, then you can set up Taros in the drop zone. You can use it to set up for your GB8 play. So that. We're running 1 of the newest Fighter Collection one. So when this card's in Guardian Circle, you can pay the cost, which is to G flip another G Guardian, and you can choose the drop zone. The drop zone grade. Just give me a sec. The translation for this one is kind of a mouthful to read, but give me a sec. Actually, I'll explain this one first. So this one, these two, they're kind of similar, but not. When this guy's in Guardian Circle, you can choose my rear guards. And if you have in soul the same number of same rear guard as you have a soul, this one gets extra 10k. And for this one, it's when this guy's in Guardian Circle, you can choose one of your rear guards. And if you have a card in drop zone with the same name as the card in the rear guard, choose up to 3 and put them in your soul. And if you put at least 1, then it gets plus 10k. So they serve kind of a similar purpose, but there might be some situations where one might be better than the other one. So this one is so you can G flip G Guardian, and then when it's placed on the Guardian Circle, you can choose 2 or more, up to a total of 3 normal units with the same grade from your drop zone or soul, and return them to your deck. And this card gets plus 5,000 under the end of the battle for each card. Yeah, for each card returned, and then shuffle your deck. So you can use this as choose some useful normal units that you want in your soul or in your drop zone or soul, and put them back in your deck. And maybe you want to soul charge them, or you don't have enough grade 3s, or I don't know. She's just good for getting that shield, because you do get 5,000 for every card returned. So it does stack up, but sometimes one of the reasons why I like running so many G guards, like 5, is because if you do run, you use 3 the previous turn and use this, you still have something to flip. Whereas if you run 4, if you use this and this and this, you won't have the ability to use this anymore. But if you use this and this and this, potentially you only have a chance to use 3 G guards, because you have to flip this for this card's effect. And you can technically recycle your heal triggers in this deck thanks to her so you might get all your heals. So anyway, that's pretty much it for this deck profile. Thanks for watching, guys. This is Kartaku, and I'll see you guys later. Bye!